All right. Well, welcome back to another Life from the Well. We are doing old fashioned today. I love to make an old fashioned in a mixing glass, just because it's typically not a drink you're gonna shake. You really just build it and then pour it into a cup. So start out with 1 sugar cube. This is the old recipe I always learned. You get that sugar cube and then you soak it with your bitters, and so you just kind of hit it with a few hits.
How many hits would you say?
That was like 4 or 5, 6 maybe.
Not bad.
I don't know. I don't mind a little extra bitters in my old fashioned. I think it can only help the drink.
All right.
The benefit to soaking the sugar cube in the bitters is it'll soften your sugar cube up. So when you hit it with your muddle stick, it should just kind of break right apart. That way you're gonna get more of an even sweet in your drink. You're not gonna have chunks of sugar. So I'll usually just stir that into a little paste. And then some people, there's so many different ways and so many arguments on old fashions. Some people muddle fruit, some people don't muddle fruit. I muddle a little orange in mine. I don't do the cherry, I don't do the Don Draper version, but I do like to get like a little bit of orange juice in there. And then I'll get a little bit of the oil from the orange peel. And that just gives you a little extra sweet too. So if you're like your old fashions a little sweeter, add a little more orange juice. So next is the fun part. Normally, a lot of people will add their spirit at this point. I like to put my ice in first because then the ice will pour down, or the warm whiskey will pour down over the cold ice and mix a little more water into the drink. So when you stir it, it just gives you a little more volume. So when you put it in a glass, it actually fills the glass up instead of getting like this much of a cocktail.
You're a rebel. You're a renegade, Joey.
It's just science, dog.
Fine.
So we've got our bitter sugar cube, and we'll put some ice in there. Good amount. Now we take our
And do you prefer bourbon or rye?
Remember you were going to say something about this. Hey Todd, do you have any thoughts about what kind of spirit we should use?
Funny you should ask, Joey, because I was just going to ask you to ask me what kind of whiskey I prefer in an old fashioned. And I got to say it's rye.
Rye.
You're right.
Right. I don't really care. I like bourbon. I like rye. I think if you look in some recipes, some real old ones, like they make them with Genever. The old fashioned it's a cocktail made of certain ingredients, and those ingredients are specific but can vary, right? It's citrus, sugar, bitters, and spirit. I think some people would say water. Water might be your ice, but that's basically the original description of what a cocktail was. That was the first time it was written down in history. That's what they described a cocktail. And so this was like the old-fashioned cocktail. That's why they say the old-fashioned is the first cocktail. Some people say it's a Sazerac because it's the exact same ingredients: citrus peel, sugar, spirits. That's all in a Sazerac. With absinthe. And so there's, cocktail contention, but that's part of the fun of it, is your regional lore and whatnot. So we'll do 2 ounces of rye, or just whatever you want. Have fun. There's no rules here. It's fucking alcohol. There's rules on how to make it, but there's not rules on how to drink it.
Now, when you stir an old fashioned, are you a clockwise or counterclockwise kind of guy?
I'm left-handed, and so I go clockwise, I guess.
I see. All right.
And we usually give it like a count of 30, but I'm talking, and so I never really know.
That's 17 and a half.
Are you counting for me? Cool. So then you kind of have your mixture that looks like this, but that's not an old fashioned.
Oh, you got a fancy glass.
So what I want to do, where's my scoop? Okay. Actually, here, let's do the tongs.
Again, the scoop is definitely just not just on the floor.
Fancy lad. What are you talking about? The scoop is it's already been sanitized by the cold ice.
Seasoned.
So then I'll take my strainer.
Ooh, that's a good looking strainer.
And then we'll strain the orange out of it. So it's a little cloudy with your orange juice, but like you don't have the chunks and the pulp. Because you don't want that. You just want to drink it. You don't want to eat it. You don't floss your teeth afterwards.
Now, what would you skewer on there?
I'm doing
Peel?
I'm doing a little orange peel. If you have a cherry, sometimes I'll do a little cherry. So I'll take like the orange peel like this. I don't even have the skewer with me today. I was just gonna roll it up. But that's the thing. So you just want to roll it up, get all those oils. Make sure you're like kind of squeezing it a little bit, because then you can see like all that oil. And you just wipe that on top of the glass, and that's gonna give you just like even more like essence of orange, and it's kind of nice. But yeah, if you coil it up, you got a little skewer, put a cherry in there if you want to be fancier. It doesn't need it. I mean, unless you just love cherries, but I don't give a shit. It's an old fashioned. Cheers.